Good morning, everyone. We are now beginning the last week of the Jewish calendar year 5783. And what's unique about this year is that, biblically speaking, this year is the year of Hakel. You see, the Torah tells us that every seventh year shall be the sabbatical year, and the eighth year is the year of Hakel. The word Hakel means gathering together, because the king of Israel would gather the entire Jewish nation after the holiday of Sukkot in the beginning of the eighth year and inspire them by reading portions of Deuteronomy, Moses' last message to the Jewish people to remain faithful and committed to God, to the Torah, and to the mitzvot. Now what's more remarkable is that yesterday we read Moshe Rabbeinu's teaching of this last commandment of Hakel on the last day of his life when he actually turned 120 years old. So yesterday, the Shabbat before the last week, we read this mitzvah of Hakel, to gather the Jewish people and unite together. But not only did we read it yesterday, we actually read it on the first Shabbat of this year, because last year we began the year with the portion of Vayelech, and this week we concluded the year with the portion of Vayelech. So not that only did we read this commandment once, but we read it twice within the year of Hakel. Now the message of Hakel that Moses delivers on the last day of his life is that to remember, as a nation, the key to our continuity and our strength lies in our unity, embracing one another with love and uniting as one people. And indeed, this has always been a very special quality of the Jewish nation. However, sadly, when we look back at this past year and we look for areas that we need to improve or improve drastically, it's in this matter of Jewish unity. Because we all know that this year has been marked with division and a rift amongst the Jewish people in the land of Israel. And the worst thing for the Jewish nation is when we are pitted against one another. And therefore, as we prepare for the new year, we have to resolve to unite as one, because that is the key to our strength, to our perseverance, to our continuity, knowing that no matter what, we are one big family, one Jewish nation. And just like brothers and sisters may disagree with each other, but ultimately they love each other, we have to remember to always love each other unconditionally, regardless of our point of view or different perspectives. As a matter of fact, last week there was a remarkable discovery in Israel. A discovery of the magnitude that Israel has never seen since its modern-day creation. It was an archaeological discovery in the caves of the Judean hills, where archaeologists have been sifting through to find remnants of the past. And they have found many coins dating back thousands of years. But this week, they discovered 4 Roman swords, which were still in their sheaths, still in their holders, with wooden handles. And these were Roman swords that in the last rebellion of the years 132 to 135 CE, 1900 years ago, when Jews took their last stand to fight the Romans who were coming to conquer the Jewish nation. And it was known as the rebellion of Simon Shimon Bar Kokhba. Bar Kokhba was a great Jewish leader, and Josephus talks about him. And they fought to their death, but they managed to steal away swords from the Romans and hide it in these caves. And when these swords were discovered, it took us back 2,000 years ago when Jews fought for the land of Israel. And here, although we lost that war and the Romans did conquer the land of Israel, 2,000 years later, we are back in the land of Israel and the Roman Empire is gone. And we have these swords as a testimony to the fight, to the bravery, to the courage of the Jews to defend the Holy Land. But these swords should remind us that weapons should only be used against enemies who seek our destruction. But internally we have to be united as one nation. And the reason that Roman Empire is gone and we are here is because we adhere to the Torah and the mitzvot, and we loved each other and we were united as one nation. When Dini and I were in Greece last month, we spent Shabbat on the island of Crete. And one of the highlights was Friday night getting dressed for Shabbat and walking to the local Chabad house, where there was a community of 50 or 60 people from all over the world who were visiting Greece. And we prayed Kabbalat Shabbat together, and we sang, and we had the Shabbat meal. And you sit down with people from all over the world that you never met before, but you realize you're one nation, one family, one community. As a matter of fact, just last week, there was a plane, El Al flight that took off from Ben Gurion last Friday. It was heading to England, and there was some mechanical failure, trouble in the plane, and they had to do an emergency landing on the island of Rhodes, Greece. And hundreds of passengers were stranded for Shabbat in Rhodes. Well, the Chabad of Rhodes sent out a message to all the passengers through El Al that you're all invited for Shabbat dinner. And 200 Israelis attended a Shabbat meal that could not be hosted in the Chabad house, which wasn't large enough, but was along the street, sidewalk, overlooking the water, the ocean. And they celebrated with Kiddush and Shalom Aleichem. And I looked at the pictures and the images, I said, look at this family. 200 passengers maybe didn't know each other before Shabbat, but now they, in the ear, became an instant Jewish community, landed together as a community, celebrated Shabbat as a community. Let us end this year with unity, with brotherly love, with affection and tolerance and respect for each and every one of us. And despite our differences, remember, Ish Echad Belev Echad, we are one nation with one heart. And wherever you are, try to reach out to a fellow Jew. Invite them to Shul on Rosh Hashanah. Invite them to a holiday meal. Let us all learn to love each other more and unite as one. And in merit of this, we'll be blessed with a happy, healthy, and sweet New Year. Shavua Tov.